Hello, everybody. It's Joe here, and welcome back once again to my F122 My Team Career Mode. And for this installment, we have returned to the home of British motor racing. This is Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, the one that perhaps we want to win more than any other. But so far in this career mode, we haven't quite done it yet. Last season we came close and we got second place, I believe. So let's try and go one better this season. If you haven't watched the last one from Canada, I urge you to go back and check that one out before you check this one out. As per usual, this is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, that was a great win in changeable conditions for us last time. So let's get two in a row and this time grab the home win. First things first though is getting through qualifying my first lap. It was so painfully mid that I wanted to do a secondary lap, and that is exactly what we did, and we ended up topping Q1 with a really nice time of a 1:27.2. Verstappen was a 10th off. The pace is here this weekend, so you know what? I'm feeling pretty confident with the pace in the car. Q2, a quicker lap than Q1, but everybody just turned the ante up, especially our teammate Oscar Piastri, who went quickest. So we're now into Q3, and this is where it counts the most. I've really tried to put together a lap as quick as possible, but I tell you what, I missed that inside apex a little bit there, and I wonder, is it going to be enough for pole? Not quite, but we are going to be starting on the second row for this race, so it's still a good place to be, especially when it's a circuit where you can overtake. So Leclerc at the moment just flying, and he grabs pole position. Magnussen alongside him on the front row, but it's an all Joe H2O row too. So let's see if we can push forward in the British Grand Prix.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And it's Kevin Magnussen in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Joker, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Perez, Albon, Verstappen, and Daniel Ticktum, Hamilton, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, and Mick Schumacher, Joe, Drugovich, Lance Stroll, and Esteban Ocon, Latifi, Vettel, Deruvala, and Robert Schwartzman. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
Here we go then. The formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right and which teams have got it horribly wrong?
Nice to see both our cars near the front of the grid. Leclerc on pole, Magnussen second. There we are on the second row. Then we've got Norris and a Mercedes behind us. I'm anticipating if we can get a good getaway, hopefully we can give the front two something to think about as we push on. 26 laps ahead of us then. It's lights out and away we go, and it's a good start for Charles Leclerc. Magnussen also getting a good start, trying to get alongside into turn one, but I think Leclerc's going to try and hold him out, and Leclerc just in front as we head into the chicane, and Leclerc getting a nice decent gap there, but there's a massive gap after P4. What happened there? Let's switch to our POV because I feel like that's something we're involved in. It's lights out and away we go for us. The first phase of the start was good for us. The second, not so much. Piastri just charging down our inside. Norris on the outside, and he's turned in on me. You can see here, just looking at the slow-mo replay, I'm turning in, but Norris just not quite realising I'm there, and as a result, I nearly lose it, but I managed to save it. But as a result of being on the grass and trying to make sure I rejoin safely, we are down from P4 to P15 at the first corner of the race. That's really not worked out for us at all. And now we've got Zhou Guanyu trying to get up my inside for Brooklands, but we're not going to let him through there. And now I need to step back after Drugovich. And wow, what a rotten start that was. I was on the inside of the fast left there after the right, and Norris just closed in on me and put me round. I don't think he quite expected or realised that I was still there. But whatever, let's just get on with this race. Down the inside of Drugovich, then into Stowe. Not the most convincing move as we hugged the apex perhaps a little too tightly. Indeed, Drugovich getting down the inside for the chicane, but we managed to outbrake him, outmaneuver him, and we move up into P14. And already we have a car out of the race in front of us, and that's Lewis Hamilton blowing up on lap 2. The Mercedes, wow, that's a heartbreaking home race for Lewis. Out of it already. He's going to be having an early bath. It's a home race to forget. The British fans let out an almighty groan, similar to the groan let out by Brazilian fans in 2008. Right, we're on Tsunoda now for P13. Ocon's got past Drugovich, but can we get past Tsunoda? I'm wanting to make up as many places as I can, as quickly as I can. Let's not wait around here. Round the outside of Tsunoda. Can we get the move down round the outside of Luffield? No, Tsunoda holding his ground well. But now we're sneaking into the inside of Woodcote using all the circuit. Maybe a little bit more than we should be using as we now sneak down the inside of Cops. We got alongside and we got through nicely. There was a little bit of wheel banging, but we have got through. No harm done to my front wing. Now we're looking at Lando Norris getting ready to pounce on our teammate Oscar Piastri, who, despite the qualifying pace, just doesn't seem to have any kind of outright race pace because he's already getting shafted for P3. And he's lost a couple of seconds to the leading pack already on the second lap. Right now around the outside of Pierre Gasly. And we tried to make that move work, but we went a little bit wide from Gasly as we now slot in behind him yet again. Gasly, we did try and go around the outside of Cobbs, but Gasly defending that well. So it's going to have to be down the hanger straight, but he's got a little bit of a gap on me. We do have DRS at our disposal, however. Are we going to be able to get a bit closer? No, not quite yet. So we're going to have to wait it out and maybe have an attack into club. Maybe a very late dive bomb down the inside. And Gasly, wow, after defending Cops really well, he's kind of gone from that to being caught napping. Now we're watching Carlos Sainz as he intends to improve his position by going down the inside of Dan Ticktum in the McLaren. And Ticktum, well, not really putting up too much of a fight for that one. The top four then, Leclerc, Magnussen, Norris and Piastri with Sainz rounding out the top 5. As we now set after Max Verstappen in P10. So we're already starting to really gain some positions here. And with this dive down the inside, a very late dive. And in fact, one that Verstappen didn't see coming till the last minute. But we've managed to put ourselves back into the points paying positions now in P10. And we're now going around the outside of Schumacher. That's a very quick and easy move to do on him. Next up, Sergio Perez. So already really getting ourselves back into the thick end of it. I want to still try and get a podium from this race if possible. Trying to look for a way past Perez into Copse. Not happening. Perez has covered that one, and we have to wait a while. Next lap, however, around the outside of Luffield. Are we going to be able to pull this one off? We try it. We've got our car alongside, side by side, then round Woodcote with Sergio Perez. I'm going to try the outside line. This didn't work a couple of laps ago with Gasly, but this time it does work with Perez. No, it doesn't, because Perez is still alongside. And as we head into Maggots, he's turned in on me. I've had to run over the curb. And luckily I found the escape road there, but Perez barging me there, hitting me onto the sausage curb. And that has ripped my under tray just a little bit, unsettled the car, so I took the escape road. And well, we have dropped back down behind Verstappen and Gasly. Why are the AI using me as their punch bag in this race today? I have no idea, but we're going to try and get Gasly straight back again. And again, Gasly just caught napping as we get the move done. Oh, that's Tsunoda, I beg your pardon. That's Yuki Tsunoda there, so he got ahead of Gasly. Right, now we're going to the outside of Verstappen. That's a relatively straightforward move up into P10 again, as we now chase Schumacher and Perez. This race so far, so much drama, and we're only 8 laps in. How much more can happen in this race yet? Right, we're trying to find a way past Mick Schumacher, past the Haas in front of us, although we are stuck in a little bit of a train at the moment, and I'm losing so much time to the front 6, which is currently being headed by Charles Leclerc, who's still leading the race. I'm now trying to find a way past Schumacher, but Schumacher's getting very close to Perez. Is he going to have a look at Sergio maybe? Nope, no way through there. But he looked closer to Perez than Perez did to Albon, as Magnussen sets the fastest lap of the race. Who's that pitting in there? That's Alex Albon pitting in as Perez goes deep. And we've gone into him as I was trying to look round the outside of Schumacher. Perez goes deep and I've gone straight into Perez. That is front wing damage for us. And this race just goes from bad to worse. Tsunoda getting past as I go wide with less grip on my front wing. But luckily for us, we have a safety car now out on the circuit. So that's critical, because now we can dive into the pits, take on a new wing, take on a fresh set of hard tyres, and go to the end of the race. But what's even more critical here, and perhaps absolutely astounding, is none of the front 4 pits. Let's show you right now. None of the front 4 pits. Leclerc had gone past the chicane when the safety car got called. There it is out the pits. And the front 4 all getting caught out because neither of them pitted on that lap. There you can see the front 2. Also catching up were Norris and Piastri, neither of which stopped. Here they are pitting once the safety car comes in, and Ferrari, being Ferrari and doing Ferrari things as usual, deciding to double stack. You know, not that they've lost enough time or anything. But anyway, the safety car is coming in on our POV. We'll catch up to that in a minute. We're now in P16. That's how much we lost changing a front wing. We did get stuck in the pits a little bit as well, but now it's a straight run to the end, and with 4 cars ahead of us pitting, there's instant positions to be gained. So let's fight. Let's see what we can do here. First off, however, though, is the Russian of Robert Schwartzman. We're going to try and get past him down the Hamilton straight here. Schwartzman, we haven't really got the momentum, so it's going to have to be around the outside of Brooklands, and, well, Schwartzman not really fighting me on that one. Next up is Tsunoda and Latifi ahead of us, and I want to get this done relatively quickly if possible, so that we can chase after what is going to be the front of the pack. Down the inside of Tsunoda, another not so convincing move down the inside, but we are through, and Tsunoda's dive bombing me back again, almost catching me napping there, but we've got back through and saved the place. My goodness me, right. The front four in the pits. That we all know. Now we're up into P10 and we're chasing Latifi, who is chasing Ocon. Now leading the Grand Prix is Carlos Sainz for Mercedes. So is Carlos Sainz going to win this race today? Tictum's in second and we're riding on board with Alex Albon in the Alpine in P3. He must be fancying his chances a little bit as well. Is he going to have a look at Dan Tictum down the hanger straight here? I don't think he's quite close enough yet. And he is just going to tuck in behind for now. No DRS until next lap. DRS now enabled again. We're halfway through the race. So let's see what we can do with the second half if we can get ahead. First up is Esteban Ocon down the inside. And Ocon, well, he tried to hold it out around the outside, but we had the line and we have the place. Next up is Latifi in 8th. And he's also got Mick Schumacher ahead in P7. So what can we do about these two? We'll soon find out. But for now, Alex Albon has intentions on Dan Tictum. His intentions being not waiting around behind the McLaren, and Albon getting up into P2 before the hanger straight even ends. Riding on board with the new P2 setter now as he tries to chase after Carlos Sainz. And I'm now chasing after Schumacher and Latifi as we're up into P9. Our championship rival Leclerc now out of the points, so that's really critical for us in terms of the championship. I thought this could have ended up being quite a big loss, and in fact it turns into a net gain. But first, we need to get past Latifi, who for some reason is braking in the middle of the corner, and that nearly caught us out there. We had to slow down to stop the collision being worse. The damage hasn't been deteriorated for us, luckily, so we're able to continue as I try and find a way around Latifi. We're going to try and take the outside of Luffield. Is that going to work? No, Latifi actually doing very nicely in covering that, and we've got to rethink that one. Right, here comes Max Verstappen down the inside of Dan Tictum, down the hanger straight, and again getting through before the corner. So Tictum not really with that much straight line speed, and that's going to cost him. So now we've got Albon and Verstappen going after Sainz. Both of these drivers wanting to win the Grand Prix. Latifi's now having a look at Mick Schumacher down the inside, and Latifi moves up into 7th. Schumacher has been demoted a place, and can we use that lack of momentum on Schumacher? Yes, we can. Round the outside, switching to the inside, and Schumacher, just while he was compromised, we were able to get by. And he's going to have to deal with Esteban Ocon now. Here's Sergio Perez going down the inside of Dan Tictum into Cops, and in fact he's barged him a little bit there. And Tictum trying to hold his line, but Perez forcing his way through there. Tictum down to P5, but is he going to now have DRS which he can use on the Red Bull, or is he going to be more under attack from Pierre Gasly behind? He doesn't have DRS. Gasly having a look down the outside now, and also Perez having to cover. These two are side by side, but Gasly just having to stay back in the AlphaTauri for now. It's P6 for Gasly as we now try once again to get past Latifi using all the circuit and a bit more. And down the inside of Luffield we go, up into P7. I'm now getting after Gasly if we can get after Gasly. But yeah, for now it's P7 for us. And we're watching Alex Albon now looking at Carlos Sainz for the lead of this Grand Prix. What can Albon do here? He's going down the inside for Stowe. Is he going to make it through? Yes, he is. Alex Albon now leading the British Grand Prix. And what an incredible day he's having at the moment in the Alpine. But Verstappen's got past Sainz, and these two have not let Albon get away at all. And now here comes Max Verstappen down the hanger straight, down the inside, and the Red Bull driver taking the lead of the British Grand Prix. Verstappen moving into that position he's all too familiar with as we now get after Pierre Gasly in P6. Are we going to be able to get down the inside here? Yes, but we've run out a little bit too deep. And Gasly just says, cheers, buddy. I'm just going to relieve you of that. And now we're getting back after Pierre Gasly for P6. I'm really pushing him here I'm hoping that we have enough laps to maybe get after Tictum. But that half-fast look down the inside of Copse does literally no favours at all. And in fact, that slowed us both down. And we've lost time to Tictum. But I'm staying within Gasly's DRS range. I'm about half a second behind as we head onto the hangar straight. DRS open. There's a yellow flag behind me. I will have a look and see what that's about in a second. But first, down the inside of Pierre Gasly we go. And up into P6. And that for us is a decent recovery considering the amount of things we've been through. Here's Nicholas Latifi in P8. This is why the yellow flag. Latifi's just minding his own business. And he's decided, you know what? I'm a little bored with racing on my own. I'm just going to have a little pirouette and then have myself a little battle with Esteban Ocon in the Haas. Ocon getting through down the straight, but Latifi's still going to be down the inside. And Latifi just schooling Ocon there and keeping P8 despite his 360 spin. I'll rate that a 9.5. Great Olympic quality for pirouetting there, Latifi. But for us, it's P6 and a race that could have been so much more, should have been so much more, but at the beginning we got tagged by Norris, put round, put down to 15. I recovered, then Perez took us off. We lost a few more positions, then I lost my front wing, ironically on Perez. The safety car came out, we pitted, gained a few places when the championship leaders weren't able to pit, and that's cost them today. But for us, it's going to be P6 and a fastest lap. So we still get some critical points and a decent recovery. Oh, we don't get the fastest lap because Albon takes the fastest lap. Verstappen wins. But for us, it's P6. And after everything we've been through in this race, a minor consolation prize.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Joker takes over the lead in the Drivers' Championship.
Max Verstappen then taking his first win of this season in this alternative F1 universe, and it is so bizarre to be saying that Verstappen only takes his first win of the season at Silverstone. Such has been the performance index of the different teams and how they've upgraded, how McLaren have surged forward, how Ferrari have, how we have as well. And as a result, it's taken Red Bull a bit of catching up to do, but they've won here at Silverstone. And as for the championship, we retake the championship lead after Leclerc took it last time, after Leclerc took it in Baku, should I say. But we've closed him back down and retaken the championship lead. Despite what could have been a heavy loss here, Leclerc obviously not pitting under the safety car and then getting caught out behind it and falling to the back when he did eventually pit. Well, Ferrari strategy is just Ferrari strategy there. So while they're doing that, we retake the lead, and that's critical points that we've taken here. But we're going to need to get stronger results if we want to keep the lead of the championship. And look at that, Latifi getting his first points of the season. Magnussen's third in the standings, and Max Verstappen moves up to fourth after a strong race. And we've now retaken the lead of the Constructors' Championship, but we can't afford to get complacent. This is F1. It can all change in the blink of an eye. Well, thank you so much for watching this installment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new here and you want to see more from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN guys. Ta-ta for now.